defendant's name is Victor Martinez Hernandez, and he's facing murder, rape, and kidnapping charges in the death of Rachel Morin. She was found dead on a hiking trail in Maryland back in 2023, and the court appearance was originally set as a motions hearing, but then changed to a postponement after the defense filed a motion to move the beginning of the trial to next year. It's now pushed back to April of 2025 to allow for some extra time for his attorney. He's represented by a public defender to get up to speed and to prepare for this case. So will that delay tip the scales of justice? Let's bring in someone who knows this case intimately well. He is the attorney representing the Rachel Morin family, and you know him as one of our regular guest legal analysts, attorney Randolph Rice. And you also have criminal experience as well, trying cases, Randolph, just a plethora of experience both in the civil world and in the criminal world. So tapping into all of that, please, let's start with this delay. Is the family at all upset about this delay? If so, why or why not, please?
Well, they're not upset about the delay, and in fact, we had been preparing them from the day that they came in to meet with us, and we said, look, when this guy gets caught, and as the time went on, remember, it took 10 months for them to catch this suspect. We've now been, since that date, even more evidence being collected, and we've been telling the family, hey, look, there's a possibility with this much evidence that the defense is just not going to be ready in 3.5 months. And that proved true this past Friday when they asked for the postponement. So they knew it was coming and they were prepared. They understand this is going to be a long road.
Right, Randolph. What was it like for them being in court and then seeing him physically in the courtroom for that very first time?
Sure, yeah. As you mentioned, this was the first time that they have seen him live in person. All previous hearings have been done by closed circuit. They had seen, it's hard to tell someone's stature and their sort of appearance until you see them in person. He was brought in ankle shackles. He had handcuffs. He was in the standard black and white striped jumpsuit. He didn't look at the prosecutors. He didn't look at the family. He went straight to the table. He put on the headphones because he's there's an interpreter there interpreting everything for him to Spanish. So he was very deadpan, had no emotion, yes, no answers, answers a couple of questions that the judge and his attorney asked him.
I appreciate all of that, Randolph. I'm curious, this has been so hard on the Morin family, as you know so well, and as we know, we've really wanted to extend our condolences, our sympathy. We've enjoyed hearing the good things about Rachel and her life from her family members, namely, her sister Erin, who's come on a number of times. And I think what was so difficult is there were no answers for so long. It was like the suspect was like a ghost. And when police were able to make that tie to the other assault that they say this guy did, this other horrific crime, a home invasion in which a child was harmed out west, I'm curious, has the Morin family connected at all with that family, with the other victims? I just out of curiosity, wondered if they've been able to talk.
They have not connected with that family in California, which they kept them very, very under wraps, and they have suspicions that they might have moved them, but they were not connected with that family. I can tell you, though, they have been connected with other families in the country, the Nungaries, the Funders, the young girl who was killed in Hartford County just a couple years before. So they have made connections to other families, but they never made the connection to the family in Los Angeles. And I think they were kind of kept separate on purpose.
Gotcha. I understood, Randolph. Perhaps for the sake of the integrity of the investigation, maybe when everything's all said and done, it sounds like the Morins would be open to it. As you've said, they're connecting with others. Rachel's kids, so many people want to know, are the kids okay? How is the family doing? Could you speak to that, please?
Sure. Patty talks about this all the time, and that they're having a hard time understanding, particularly one of the children who is on the spectrum. She doesn't understand why her mother is not coming back, her best friend. The other children, obviously some of them still very young, have a hard time understanding, why is mom not coming back? Why is mom not around? And it's just killing them. Obviously, to lose your mother, that's your soulmate. That's the person who guides you in life. So to not have that person in their life, it's very tough for them.
Most certainly. Our hearts go out to the Morin family. You know, it's so tragic. And when you think about someone doing nothing wrong, just going out for a run, that's so normal, what everybody does. It is just horrific what happened to Rachel Morin. And, you know, we've told the Morin family, you know, through Aaron, you know, we're keeping her memory alive and focusing on her throughout the progression of the case. And Randolph, might I just say, the family is in the most exceptional hands with you representing them throughout this process that is very, very difficult. Randolph, we've got to leave it there for today. Thank you so much for everything. We'll have you back on very soon.